Welcome. The following presentation, we will be exploring information processing theory. We will identify the three major components of this theory and how differing views of memory affect how information is processed. Information processing theory is focused on how information is absorbed, processed, and transferred into long-term memory. It breaks this progression into three memory systems: sensory, short-term memory, and long-term memory. Before we dive into each of these memory systems, let's test your memory. This simple test is a replication of Endel Tolving's experiment with his students at the University of Toronto. You will see a list of 20 random words. You will have 20 seconds to try to memorize this list. You may not write any of the words down. Cup, yellow, cloud, 7, elephant, nail, cell, magazine, grass, pen, syrup, trumpet, brain, gate, sign, ounce, soccer, honey, nose, male. We will see how you did in a few minutes. Sensory input is the first memory system in information processing theory. In this system, you receive information from your senses. This information is gained from the environment around you. This could be a sound, a smell, an image, anything perceived by one of your senses. In the memory test we have just begun, we were using sight because you saw the list of words, and sound because I read them to you as your stimulus. The second memory system is short-term memory. In this step, you store information for a period of time and make connections with your prior knowledge. Perhaps one of the words on your memory test made you think of a prior experience. Perhaps yellow is your favorite color. That would make this word easier to remember. This connection will aid in remembering the word later. Short-term memory is also referred to as working memory. The final memory system in the information processing theory is long-term memory. Once information is placed in long-term memory, you can refer back to it and utilize it in new situations. There are many experiments that test how information is converted from short-term memory into long-term memory. There are many techniques to help a person convert the information into their long-term memory for later storage. The knowledge gained from these tests has many applications in instructional design. Let's look at one strategy to convert short-term memory into long-term memory. The power of retrieval is also known as the testing effect. This one strategy is explained in the book Make It Stick: The Science of Successful Learning. The following is a quote from this book. To be most effective, retrieval must be repeated again and again in spaced out sessions, so that the recall, rather than the resuscitation, requires some cognitive effort. If a student were to try and study for a test, having one long study session is less effective than short, spaced out study sessions along different days. Let's listen to an 8-year-old boy explain how he studies for his weekly spelling test.
All right, Brian, how old are you?
8.
8. Do you ever have spelling words that you have to remember to spell?
Yes, I do, and I don't always remember.
Tell me, what do you do?
Well, so every day on Monday at school, I do remember to write down my spelling words, or also I won't be able to watch any TV for the day. Well, if I forget to practice them, then I won't do good on my spelling test on Friday.
What do you do to practice them?
Well, usually on the way from give my spelling words to my sister, and she will give me a mini spelling test for me. And once we do it, we'll redo all of the ones that I missed until I get them.
And how many times do you do that? How many times do you practice with your sister in the car?
About every day except for the weekend and Friday.
Okay, and how do you usually do on your spelling tests?
Good. In fact, the last time I did a spelling test, I got 100%.
Good job. All right, thanks so much.
Bye.
From Monday to Thursday, he studies his words in the car on his way home from school. That gives him 4 separate studying sessions where he is retrieving the information. By Friday, he will remember his words better compared to if he had had one large study session the night before. He will use the strategy throughout his educational journey, even if he doesn't realize that it is a strategy. Endel Tolving is the experimental psychologist and cognitive neuroscientist who developed the memory test we began a few moments ago. He separates memory into 2 main categories: semantic memory and episodic memory. In semantic memory, it is the base of general knowledge. It is not unique to the learner. You may know that cookies require sugar as an ingredient. We could ask many different individuals who could tell us this information. This is a semantic memory. Episodic memory, in contrast, is a specific experience that the learner has. It is personal and unique to the learner. Perhaps there was a time that you made cookies with your mother and forgot to put in the sugar. This would be an episodic memory, and not every individual would have it. Can episodic memories help semantic memories reach long-term? The goal in learning is to move information from the short-term to the long-term memory stage. Semantic memories, which are general knowledge, are more difficult to move to this long-term stage. Sometimes people can use episodic or unique memories to help them move information to the long term. For example, if you were given a list of words to memorize, if you could trigger some of those words to a memory, you would be more likely to be able to keep them in your long-term memory. Chunking information is another key tool or strategy to remembering information long-term. Perhaps you were given the number below: 1, 7, 6, 5, 3, 8, 4, 5, 1, 3, 8. If the information is chunked into various sections, as it often is when a person remembers a phone number, we are more likely to remember that information. 1, 7, 6, 5, 3, 8, 4, 5, 1, 3, 8. This chunking makes it easier for a person to remember the information. Endel Tolving believed that humans are the only organism with episodic memories. This comic, drawn by his wife, shows him inquiring to his cat about the nature of its memories. According to Endel Tolving, pets did not have episodic memories, but they do contain semantic memories. Let's revisit our memory test from earlier. Using a sheet of paper, list as many of the 20 words from earlier as you can. Please pause the video for this step. Here is the word list. How many of the words did you remember? If you had implemented a strategy such as the testing effect, do you think you could have increased that number? Did any of the words trigger a memory of yours that was episodic? We continue to explore memory and how it affects learning. The information processing theory is at the base of this research. Understanding how memory system works aids in creating efficient and effective instruction for all learners. Thank you.